In this video, I'm going to explain the specific issue with WWE's Liv Morgan Problem, what the possible remedy would be because Liv Morgan has completely destroyed the world. We have gone from a Liv Morgan fan to someone who appears to have taken over the professional wrestling industry overnight. Have not been taken seriously, as evidenced by the fact that nobody has discussed Liv Morgan in a long time. Due to an injury, she was off television for 6 months during that time, but Liv Morgan was always someone that her admirers supported whenever she appeared on television, even though she was actually utilized on television since she frequently received these start and stop signals and people would say, "Okay, I'll do something," but then they would do nothing. Like but who among the current WWE casts Charlotte Flair without a, for example, Becky Lynch doesn't have a Ripley, 2 of which are because of injuries. Charlotte is now sidelined with a torn ACL and MCL, and our Ripley is out because of a sprained AC joint in her shoulder, and Min has a meniscus. Due to Becky Lynch's recent collapse and leave from the company, in only a short period of, they actually missed out on 2 of those stars for a few months because at first we had Ripley go down to a spraying AC joint in her shoulder and, wow, they had to turn right, and then everything. Suddenly Becky Lynch said, "I'm leaving," as her WWE contract was about to expire. Therefore they needed someone to cover that gap, and Liv Morgan has done so in a significant manner, and as a supporter of Liv Morgan seems to have seized this business by storm, but in a bigger and better approach. More than I had first thought, such as although I knew she had promise, I was unaware that she would be able to take on the challenge, ascend to the position where she is currently on the card in such a short amount of. Now, it's clear that it helps that WWE placed her beside 2 of its biggest stars in the entire business, not to mention the female sector, which she genuinely hurt with Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley was on the sidelines for several months after appearing in a backstage segment, and earlier this year, she got into a fight with Becky Lynch and then again, so she already had that light and made a significant comeback at the Royal Rumble. But Becky and Liv later got into a fight over the Women's World title, and although Becky Lynch did win the title at first, and be the victor following a successful battle royale, they promptly turned to face Liv and Becky, correct? You had a live go-over with the King and Queen of the Ring PL, Lynch, Becky. Due to outside intervention by domineering Mysterio, Monday Night Raw Liv took place 2 nights later. Moves on to the racist, which brings us to our topic for the day. She goes over and a CE cage bout, correct? Because Liv Morgan has been pretty fantastic in the last several weeks and months. Since roughly April, but they also have a significant issue that they're dealing with to have to solve, and I believe I know how to do it. According to a recent article, Rhea Ripley, she won't return in time for SummerSlam, which is when Rhea first suffered her injury. According to reports, it was thought she would return in time for SummerSlam, which, right with the notion of okay, let's just buy our time with Liv as champion on August 3rd in Cleveland. After we get her through a few feuds, we'll do the big money drawing match between R. Morton and Ripley. Dave Meltzer, however, says that won't occur, at least not since Ripley is now recovering from shoulder surgery instead of having surgery. SummerSlam. She is now not expected to return for SummerSlam, and they were informed that if it recovers more quickly than examined, you can be sure they'll match, but if not, they've had a problem. I've already discussed this last week in a video, but it made me think again today. They're having trouble. Because you must now fill the hole throughout this period. If you've seen Monday Night Raw, check out the gap you have been observing Liv Morgan for the past few weeks. The main plot point has been Dominic Mysterio. This show has several introductory segments as well as ongoing segments. Dominic Misso, and Morgan are throughout this program, and they're constantly hinting at this strange romantic tie between. The notion that Dominic and Liv are causing Rhea and Liv to go into another argument is causing Rhea to return, get into a fight, and exact revenge on Liv Morgan. If we have the problem of Rhea not coming back in, guess what's going to happen? You need to push it back and make this plot longer, okay? Therefore, if you must do that, it leads to still another issue. Oh well, I suppose we should hire talent. You know they'll try to load up, so you're prepared to go and fight with Liv Morgan. SummerSlam. Since you are aware that they will attempt to deposit funds into the bank, thus you need to have reliable, worthy challengers for Liv Morgan's crown, but you lack that as you were banking. The good news is that on a relay, that's a big issue for them and a big Liv Morgan issue. Whether it's on Raw, SmackDown, or elsewhere, WWE has never had more female talent. NXT, they're incredibly loaded, so you can work with anything with them, and even though Monday Night Raw doesn't have Becky Lynch or Rhea Ripley, things are still going great. Can be changed, correct? You might trade certain gals between SmackDown and Raw. You could always call up talent for Menate, or you could go straight from SmackDown to Monday Night Raw. Could just prepare and assemble some deserving competitors for Monday Night Raw. They're there for you. Just must be able to finish it as far as Rhea Ripley is concerned. You know, and that got me thinking. Alright, when do you perform live against Rhea SummerSlam if you are unable to? Ideally, you would like to do it at Mania, but I think that's much too low for such a feud, and I even detest using the word feud since, in my opinion, it's more of a plot than a feud. It's a program. Anything not a conflict, a quarrel is when you attack me. I want your title, or I desire. This is different, or I have to beat you to elevate myself. Liv is seeking retribution because Rhea hurt her, and now that she's back, she'll be pursuing Liv for two, one of which is the right to retaliate. After Liv hurt her, she took her man and powerful Mysterio, or whatever the strange relationship between those two is. You have a different and I've been pitching this since they began the feud, and it seems like we've moved from a one-time bout to a potential easily obtain 3PL from this. If they truly choose to prolong, we could easily obtain 6 months. There is a lot of work to be done before you have that blow-off bout at WrestleMania. I'm eager to see what they do with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley once they leave here. In this video, I'm going to explain the specific issue with WWE's Liv Morgan Problem, what the possible remedy would be because Liv Morgan has completely destroyed the world. We have gone from a Liv Morgan fan to someone who appears to have taken over the professional wrestling industry overnight. Have